Hello everybody, it's GMT400 time. Yeah, what we see is what we've got, and I left the tailgate down, so we're gonna close that guy up. Maybe once we're done checking it all out. This is a 1999 K1500 Chevy Silverado LS trim, 5.7 liter. Notice I said K1500. That does mean it is a 4x4. And let's check it out. Pretty sweet truck, 122,000 miles. These things got a lot of miles put on it, so pretty good as far as I'm concerned, as far as odometer reading. Yeah, we'll just kind of poke it full of holes. It's a pretty standard issue truck. Nothing too crazy, but we'll kind of figure out what we're working with. As you can see, it does have aftermarket exhaust. I had it idling here for a little while, so it kind of blew some condensation up these dual exhaust. This is I believe this is an aftermarket. Yeah, it is. It's an aftermarket Reese brand hitch assembly here. Some older looking Bilstein shocks on the rear. That's an OEM bed liner there. Probably came on it since new. Thankfully, doesn't look too bad under there. There's no rust. It's been here in California, I think, all of, if not most of its entire life. So it's managed to avoid rust. It does have these centerline alloy wheels, 16s. So it does have those. I personally wish it had the original alloys, because I like them on these trucks. But they were kind of bland, and I can see why somebody might want to do something a little flashier. Thankfully, they're not chrome; they're just a polished aluminum finish, and they're in pretty good shape. Slightly oversized tires. What are we working with here? These are 285/75 16s. They look like they're in pretty good shape. Pretty good amount of tread on these guys. I don't see, oh, look at that, 11th week of 2020. So yeah, these tires are good. They're not aged out, which is great. I'm a stickler for tires. Otherwise, we got a bug guard there. We got wind guards here on the door glass on both sides. And it's otherwise pretty factory. Let's poke it full of holes. I did notice there's two sheet metal screws here holding the corner of the trim panel down. Looks like there might have been one here once upon a time. It's gone. But trim panel's pretty tight. It's not going anywhere. So that is of note. This guy's broken, and the bulb is pulled out. It's like this on both sides. Not a huge loss, but noteworthy. We'll play with all this power stuff in a minute. Locks do work. Does have the power seat, which is working as it's supposed to. Lumbar is doing its thing. Seats are in really good shape. These seats tend to hold up pretty well. I've seen a bunch of these. The leather ones fall apart, but the cloth ones tend to stay in pretty good shape. Little nick in the weather stripping here. Not the end of the world. It's pretty good all around otherwise. At least over here. We'll check out the other side. I did notice there's a little bit of overspray on this weather strip here. And if you look, it's hard to tell, but the color match on this panel is a little bit off from the door. If you know your GMs of this era, paint falling off of them, kind of like we see here around the fuel filler door, is not uncommon. So that might have happened here. I did see there's a little, somebody masked this emblem off at one point. There's a little bit of overspray on there. Now the texture's pretty good. Doesn't sound like it's full of mud. I've got a paint meter. I'll get some photos of that. And this looks all original. So somebody painted this, but it sounds good in metallic. I don't think there's anything scary going on there. Anyways, I digress. Inside, the window tint on this window is a little hazy. There's some scratches and scuffs in it. Relatively easy fix. It's just take that off. It's like that on the other door glass too. On the passenger side, it's a little hazy, a little scuffed up, a little scratched up. The rest of the glass is nice though. So somebody tinted those, and whoever tinted these front windows didn't do a great job, or they did a great job. It was just a very long time ago, so those can stand to be replaced. Center console's all in very good shape. Under there looks good. Somebody installed this guy. I'll get a photo of it. It does work. It's yeah, DVD player. So this was kind of the cat's meow in the late 90s to early 2000s. So somebody spent a pretty penny on that. It's got RCA inputs on the front. So I don't know, hook a Nintendo 64 up to it and just relive 1999 when somebody brought this thing home. Headliner, mostly pretty good, except for this front edge. This is probably hanging off right here like it is in the center. And so they decided to trim that with a pair of scissors or something. It's not disastrously bad, and you know, it's not like the visors are holding it up. But certainly not perfect. A little bit annoying. I'll leave it up to you if you want to cut those off with scissors if you are the next buyer of this truck. It does have this dash mat on here. Thankfully, dash underneath looks pretty darn good. It's dusty. There's some like foam dust flaking off of the backing of this guy. I'm sure it had a foam back at one point, and there's some sticky residue from where it was stuck on at one point. It's kind of loosey-goosey now, but it continues to do its job and keep the dash from getting cracked. I'll pop the hood. Let's start it though. As I said, I had it idling here for a while I was doing the photo work of the interior real quick, so it's going to be at operating temp. This is not going to be a cold start. That's what we got. I did notice earlier when I started it, when it was cold, the fuel needle was a little wiggly, kind of jumping around a little bit. It settled down and it doesn't really seem to be doing anything new. Now, you rev it. Now that oil pressure needle's a little jumpy, but it's moving appropriately. Yeah. It does have daytime running lights. That's what that line means. Wipers. They're wiping. Headlights. High beams. Left signal, right signal, hazards. What else we got? We got a parking brake with a brake release down here. That works. That releases. We've got factory stereo.
Terms and conditions apply.
Works. Let's turn the headlights off so you can see the display. That's not copyright struck there. Four wheel. I'll test that out in a minute. And report back. My understanding is it works just fine. Let's try. I do want to test out the AC. Let's let that cool down. I'll let that run for a moment. Yell over this thing. Cup holder. Still flips out. This guy's a little floppy. It looks like just the little spring popped loose. That's this guy here. If you got maybe a pair of needle. Oh, I see. Look, this guy. Maybe I'll fix it right here, right now. No. Come on. Where does this guy go? It goes in there somewhere. I'm gonna try and fix that with brute force and ingenuity later, but I think that just needs to get clipped back in there. That's a simple fix. There's another one here. If you need 12 volt, you got it. AC does not feel like it's getting cold. We'll give it another moment. Cargo lamp. I don't know if that works. We'll flip it and see. We'll get out. Turn the headlights back on. There's our dimmer. So the dimmer works. Glove box, there's a manual in there. That's about it. Nothing crazy to report back there. I do not think this AC is blowing cold. So your mileage may vary. Now that it's running, you can see the screen is working. Leading disc. So, you know, if you've got, oh, I don't know, Waterworld on DVD, you can play that bad boy in here. Or apparently, you know, whoever had this before was watching kids stuff. So you got that going for it. I'm going to officially call it and say that the AC does not work right now. If that changes between now and when this car is up for auction, I will report back. But as it is right now, we have no AC. Windows. Auto down is auto working. Does not have auto up. Other side. There you go. I think that was a Taurus SHO over there. Anyways, let's see what we got. Oh, yep, the power locks work because I locked myself in. Mirror, check. Passenger side, check. Let's look under the hood real quick. I'm gonna roll the window down because I don't want to lock myself out on accident. Don't know if our cargo light's working. Yeah, maybe the cargo light's not working, so. FYI, do have our lights and everything. That's working as it should. Here's the Vortec 5.7 liter. Good motor. The Vortec was at the end of the run, so I do believe that's a whole 255 horsepower and several more torques. Yeah, I don't think that AC is kicking on. A couple of rock chips here. All in all, in pretty good shape. These impact strips, this chrome piece on these, every single one of them, if they spend any time outside, they shrink up. So it's like that on both ends and it doesn't get quite as shiny. The chrome looks pretty good. I did notice the top of this fender, the clear is a little yellowed. I don't know if that'll come back. It doesn't feel it. I can feel where the clear is kind of gone. Now that might be able to be sanded and just re-cleared. Consult your local body professional. And I don't mean like people body, I mean like auto body. Same at the top of this door. And this door here in this cab corner. Clear is a little bit yellowed and kind of peeled back. Same here. On the top of this bedside. I didn't see it on the other bedside, but I did see it on this one. Bed itself and bed liner all look good. This tail handle bezel is actually not broken. You can see what I'm talking about best here. It's probably most severe here on this edge of this tailgate, but you know. Back here it looks great. If you ride on top of it, you can notice that like, hey, there is a little bit of, there's something going on with the clear. The bed is the worst, less bad up here, but you know, worth noting. Let's open this all up. Come on. Oh, what did I do? I angered it. Did I lock it? All right, what have I done? Well, this door did just open because I took pictures back there. There we go. I guess you got to give it a little bit of a, open it with some authority. You know, for good measure, let's try that again. Maybe I just need to be not a weakling. Yeah, you can't do it daintily. You got to give it a little bit of a yoink. So that might just be, you know, probably grease this latch up down here. Is that even the latch? Latch is probably on the door. That's just the striker. Anyways, this is peeled back here a little bit. It looks like that guy is kind of just supposed to Velcro on there. I don't know, but that looks correctable. This is a manual back and forth on this passenger seat. Carpets are pretty good under here. That's a spare door handle. More of the headliner. Seats back here are nice. Put this down here. Looking good. Door shuts just fine. Happy little doors. Underside is pretty good. As I said, pretty much a lifetime California truck. And that's it. I'm starting to lose some light. Beautiful, beautiful sky right now. Hanging out at a golf course. Might be the first time this truck's ever been at a golf course. I'm not sure, but let's go get it on the road, take it for a drive, see what it does. Alrighty, here's the plan. We have traveled through time. It is now the next morning after the walk around part of the video because it started to run out of light. So I've got my coffee. We'll start it up. We'll go down this bumpy road here. We'll hop on the freeway real quick. We'll come back to this gravel lot I'm in to test out the four-wheel drive system. Salut! As I said, this is a bumpy and awful road. See all these trucks, construction equipment and stuff? They're always here and they always beat up this road. Feels strong, that's for sure. See what she does on the freeway. Tracking pretty well. Getting off here. Not a ton of wind noise or anything. My cup holder here with my coffee in it is a little squeaky and rattly. Pretty typical with these plastic flip-out cup holders. Otherwise, pretty nice. Brakes feel good. No real shaking or fluttering like warped rotors or uneven pads or anything. Feels strong. All right, we're back from where we started. Gravel lot here. Let's test out the four-wheel drive, shall we? All right, so we want neutral. Should be 4 high. Clunk, it's a good sound. That's 4 low. Put on the first. Oh yeah. You feel the front grabbing. Yep. Okay, four-wheel drive is working. 4 low we have. Let's confirm we have 4 high. If low's working, high should be. There we go. Yeah, still grabbing too. All right, back up a little bit. Put her back in neutral. That should be too high. Yep, front's disengaged. Look at that. Just like GM drew it up. So, yeah, that's it. It's a pretty nice truck. Feels good, drives good, four-wheel drive's working. 122,590 some odd miles. Yeah, got a winner. So not perfect, a couple little imperfections in the clear coat, things like that. But you know, nice place to be, good bones, and doesn't really need a whole lot. So if you're trying to live your GMT400 truck dreams, this is an option for you. If you're catching this video within the first week or so of it going live, then that means you're going to be able to catch the auction for it as it's live, which is another reason why you should do the like and subscribe and all that stuff, so you can kind of follow along. You'll get a notification when these go live. You can kind of see what I've got going up for auction at that same time. This one's going to be over at Hemmings Auctions, so follow along, the link in the description below to kind of see how that does. And otherwise, thanks for riding along. All right, deuces.